Good evening and welcome to Sancta News. Breaking news in the last hour as Nicola Sturgeon sets out the Scottish Government's proposed route plan out of lockdown. This means that from around the 5th of April, Catholic churches will once again be able to open their doors for Holy Mass. The First Minister added that the date for restarting public worship would take Easter into consideration, which falls on 4th of April.
And then a minimum of 3 weeks after that, so from the 5th of April, it is our hope and expectation at this stage that the stay-at-home restriction will be lifted. We would aim for any final phase of school return to take place on this date. Communal worship will also, we hope, restart around the 5th of April, albeit with restricted numbers to begin with. However, in deciding the exact date for this, we will obviously take account of the timing of major religious festivals, for example, Easter and Passover, so it may be a few days earlier when communal worship can restart.
In other news, it was announced at the weekend that Pope Francis has accepted the resignation of Cardinal Sarah as the prefect of the Congregation of Divine Worship. The Ghanaian cardinal has passed the age of 75 last June. In Ireland, there was shock as Bishop Kevin Doran was suspended from Twitter because of his tweeting opposing the new legislation for assisted suicide. Bishop Doran wrote, "There is dignity in dying. As a priest, I am privileged to witness it often. Assisted suicide, where it is practiced, is not an expression of freedom or dignity, but of the failure of society to accompany people on their way of the cross." However, Twitter censored the post for violating our rules against promoting and encouraging suicide or self-harm. After an appeal, Twitter reaffirmed its stance and said, "Our support team has determined that a violation did take place, and therefore we do not overturn our decision." Good news for the Diocese of Motherwell this week, as Pope Francis declared Father Ignatius Spencer Venerable. Father Ignatius, the English Passionist and great-uncle of Winston Churchill, died in Carstairs, Scotland on the 1st of October 1864. He was en route to visit his friend Robert Menteith, the founder of St Mary's Lanark. With the approval of his heroic virtues, Father Ignatius of St Paul will now have the title Venerable Servant of God. We speak to Father John Paul McShane, the parish priest of St Mary's in Lanark, to hear his reaction to the news.
Father Ignatius Spencer has a great connection to St Mary's Lanark. He actually died not too far from us in Carstairs as he was visiting the Lord Robert Menteith, as we know the family who built St Mary's, this beautiful church we have. So it's wonderful for us to have Father Ignatius Spencer move forward on this process towards being canonised, especially, I suppose, as we're under these trying times, and then as we're trying to recover as a community of faith at the other side. And we hope and we pray to Father Ignatius Spencer that he will galvanise all of us and that he'll bring people to the faith, that he'll bring people back to celebrate their faith with us in our churches, especially here in Lanark.
And finally, a congregation of Irish nuns has set the internet alive with a rendition of the Jerusalem dance. The video posted yesterday by the Redemptorist nuns in Dublin has amassed over 65,000 views in 24 hours. The popular South African hit has inspired viral videos across the world. Let's take a look at the video.